What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nathaniel Gerdes, and today we're going to be talking about chakras. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Nathaniel, you're a photographer. You talk about Instagram things and photography things and business things. The f you talk about chakras for? Well, what many of you don't know is I'm actually certified in Reiki, the second degree. I'm not a master yet, but I am certified by the state of California to perform Reiki and have been certified for longer than I've been a photographer. So I've been practicing Reiki for maybe about 7 years. Okay, so I do have quite an extensive background in it. And for those who don't know what Reiki is, it's a form of kind of energetic healing. So we'll talk a little bit about that in the later part of this video, but what I really want to cover today is what are chakras, why are they important, and kind of understanding the scientific breakdown of how they work in your body. So let's dive right in. When people say chakras, almost everybody is referring to the 7 chakra system. This is a Western view of the chakra system. Chakra in Sanskrit means wheel. In Western medicine, this is also called the circulatory system. Circular, like a wheel. However, chakra is a little bit bigger of a term than just your circulatory system because it works with all of your systems of your body. The way chakras kind of work is there are pathways in your body that are sending electricity through your body. There's 72,000 pathways. These are called nadis, okay? In Eastern medicine, they're called nadis. And then the conjunction points of these nadis where they meet, those are called chakras. There are 114 chakras. There's 7 major ones, unless we're talking about the Egyptian scale, in which there are 13 major chakras they focus on. But today we're going to mainly focus on the major 7 chakras. If I get enough comments and people wanting to see more, maybe I'll go a little bit more in depth about how the 13 system or how the other ones kind of work. But we're going to mainly focus on the main 7, and I'm not going to touch too much on the basics. I'll do it really quick, so the basic overview of it, but there's so much information, endless information about the basics, but I really want you to understand the nuts and bolts and how it really works within you. So just to briefly cover these main chakras, you have 7 major centers of your body where these nadis, these pathways of energy and electricity kind of formulate and connect in your body. Usually these are also in conjunction with major nerve bundles. These are called nerve ganglions. The first one is the base, your root chakra, that is at the very bottom of your spine and reaches down your legs and into your feet, okay? It is your root chakra. It's also in Eastern medicine called Muladhara. So that's the first one, and that is all about basically your roots. It's all about your foundation. When your energy is predominantly in Muladhara, you are going to be focused mainly on survival, on sleep, on food. It's all about survival. And the root chakra is usually colored red. Now the next chakra is Svadhisthana, or your sacral chakra, and that is usually colored orange. It is your reproductive organs. When your energy is predominantly in Svadhisthana, then you are going to be more so seeking pleasure. Now, that doesn't mean sex, it means like thrill, it means excitement. You're gonna be trying to go out and have a good time and party and really enjoy life, the pleasure, but it's very surface level pleasure. So when your energy is predominantly there, that's where you're going to mainly be. The next chakra, the 3rd chakra, that is your solar plexus. It's usually colored yellow. And this chakra in Eastern medicine is called Manipura. Deep down, you're just kind of a human, and as you grow, personality kind of pours into you and you start to become this thing. So that thing you kind of become, as you pick up these your history and your identity and things like that, that is your Manipura, that is your solar plexus chakra, where that's kind of held. When your energy is predominantly in Manipura, then you are going to be about taking action, you're going to be about being entrepreneurial, about doing things, and that's really where it's going to be about. And it's also going to be kind of about you. When there's too much energy there, oftentimes people get a little too egotistical It happens really easily. Now the next chakra is your heart chakra, Anahata. Okay, so here's the thing. The first three are all about you. Okay, it's all about you and your physical body. Now when you start to get into the heart, everything kind of changes. There's 3 chakras below the heart, and then there's 3 chakras above the heart. So the symbol for the heart chakra is the Star of David, which is a pyramid or triangle facing down, and then a triangle facing up, interlocked. And what this represents is the 3 points of the triangle facing down represent the 3 lower chakras, and the 3 points of the triangle facing up represent the higher 3 chakras. And your heart is the interlocking, the interconnectedness between the bottom 3 and the top 3. So everything that is yourself and everything that is beyond yourself, and your heart is where they meet, okay? That's where the energies of you and what is beyond you are connected. All right. Oftentimes it is said, this is kind of diving into the Egyptian chakra system, but it is said there's kind of what's called a half step. Just like in music, you know, you see the white keys and all of a sudden it goes white key, black key, white key, black key, white key, and then another white key. All of a sudden there's no black key that separates. It's called a half step. And just as there's a half step after the 3rd key on a keyboard or a piano, so is there kind of a half step in the chakras. So it's said that people oftentimes have a very hard time getting out of the energies of the bottom 3. They oftentimes are always energetically focused in their life on survival, on pleasure seeking, or on entrepreneurship and action, which we can see throughout life. People are mainly in those 3 main mindsets. Now when you get to Anahata, that is going to be more of a creative center. A lot of people think it's your throat, but it's really your heart is where you start to get really creative. And you're going to want to be a painter, a musician. You're going to want to take action, but you want to do so to bring a life into the world and excitement into the world. So this is a little bit, it's about you, but also about being beyond you. This is also where you're going to feel a lot of love. In this center, you don't feel love in terms of pleasure. It's more so love unconditionally. It's not about, oh, I love this person, we always get along, and I hate this person because, you know, they wronged me. It's, I love this person because we get along, and I love this person because they taught me a valuable lesson in my life. And there's no lacking of love. It's you love everything, you love all things, and you appreciate all things for either who they are, what they are, and the lessons that they bring. So when your energies are there, you're going to be very unconditionally loving. You're going to be really into creativity and going beyond yourself, connected with yourself. So next is the throat chakra. This is Vishwati. This is going to be kind of a power center. This is all about, you know, being a powerful human being. This is your voice. Okay, so this is your uniqueness, your unique energy. So in this power center, think of it this way, like you can go and you can try to build a house all by yourself, or you can use your voice to instruct 10 people to help you. And so your voice is really powerful. This is why mantras or like affirmations, things like that, are very powerful, because you're using your voice. You're using this powerful energy. When your energy is predominantly there, you're going to be focused on being powerful. And this doesn't necessarily mean being famous. This means you yourself feel in control of your life and life in general. So your next chakra is your 3rd eye. This is Ajna. Okay, this is going to be like a psychic center. This is a lot of people like to think of it as. But when your energies are predominantly in Ajna, you are going to be mainly about understanding life clearly. So when you're in any of these other centers, it's almost like looking through life through a certain lens. So let's just say you put on glasses and they're yellow. Well, everywhere you look, everything is going to look yellow to you. This kind of comes out in people if you see somebody who's really angry, they're kind of almost looking for more reasons to be angry. They're the same people that start fights at the bars or start fights wherever they go. And it's because they always have those goggles on that see life angry, okay? And they think that everything is out to make them angry. because they're wearing those glasses. Well, everybody has a kind of glasses that they're kind of wearing that they paint the world in. And although everything appears to be that way to them, it's not true. So when you're in asana, you're kind of looking to take off the glasses and look to see life how it really is. All the different colors that are. What is actually anger? What's love? What's excitement? What's fear? What's happiness? And you start to see life in those many colors instead of just charged by your personal emotions. So when you're in predominantly asana, you're going to be focused on seeing life clearly, wisdom, understanding, and many of those kind of insights. Okay, and the last chakra is the crown chakra. I always have a hard time saying this name. It's Sahasrara, and that is at the top of your head. And that is all about being connected to the divine or the universe or God or whatever you choose to believe in. That is connected to higher powers. That is your connection to everything that is beyond you, the next dimensions of life. So when your energies are there, you're going to be blissed out. You're going to feel great. You're going to be, in this place of deep happiness, this profound happiness and bliss, because you have created a connection between you and the divine, and everything is understanding at that point. You have full understanding, and nothing gets to you. You're just happy to be in this universe. So rarely people make it to that step, and that is very often associated with enlightenment. There's another half step between the sixth chakra, major chakra, your third eye, and this top one, your crown chakra. So that also makes it difficult. And that again is mainly based in the Egyptian 13 chakra system, opposed to the major 7 Western chakra system. So those are the major chakras, and the basic overview of what they are and what it means to kind of be predominantly in those energies. Generally, people will rise up through the chakras. This is called rising of the Kundalini. Kundalini means serpent, so it's said that there's serpent-like energy that rises up your spine. If you've ever seen the medical symbol with the 2 snakes rising up to the top, that is basically stems from Kundalini energy that rises up your spine. And so what that means is commonly, this isn't in every case scenario, people can jump from major chakra to major chakra at random times. It just takes one right move to put you in order, in alignment with all of these. It can happen in an instant, or it can happen over many, many years. So basically, what I mean by this is you're never going to be pleasure seeking until you feel comfortable that there's a roof over your head and you have food in your belly and things like that. And then you're never going to be entrepreneurial or try to go out and make something of yourself if you don't feel like you are pleased in life. So you have to kind of move up the chakras. And whenever there is problems in life, and this is the belief with these chakras, whenever there's problems, it's said to stem from one of these chakras, one of these areas. So what that means is basically your body is 2/3 water, okay? And water is said to be able to retain information in memory. This is proven by a guy named Masaru Emoto in Japan, where he did this big water experiment, and he said different words and thought different words and feelings towards jars of water, would freeze the water and see how the molecular structure would change. Super interesting study, definitely look into it. Another thing he did was he took 3 jars of cooked rice and water, and he would say, I love you to one jar, I hate you to another, and would ignore the 3rd jar altogether. He did that every single day for a month. Now, what ended up happening is every time he repeated this experiment, the same thing would happen. The first jar would be fermenting, smell good, be fine. You could probably even eat from that jar of rice if you wanted to. The second jar would be kind of rotting over, and the 3rd jar would be completely rotted over and like black or green. So what he found was there was a direct correlation between the thoughts, words, and emotions he was directing at the water, and the water reflecting those thoughts, feelings, and emotions into its content, changing its molecular structure and changing what happened to what was within it. So you could probably eat from the first jar and be all right, but eating from the third jar, you get sick. There's mold, it's gross. And so we are 2/3 water ourselves, so we have to be very conscientious about the thoughts, words, and emotions that we take towards ourselves. Now, secondly, we have these big nerve bundles called nerve ganglions, okay? And these act as kind of where the major chakras are. And these are almost different mindsets. We know when we've been thinking from our heart, or thinking from our gut, or thinking from our reproductive organs, or thinking mindfully. We can tell when we're thinking from these different centers. Now, the big thing here is that people believe that their thoughts are in their head. Your brain, sure, your brain can think for itself, but the main part of your brain where these images, where these ideas are culminating and you can picture in your brain, that's not it. That part of your brain is a receiving and a perceiving station. It receives the messages from elsewhere and then perceives it in a language you can understand personally. So what I mean by that is, let's say you get hungry. Well, the feeling of hunger, that didn't come from your brain, that started in your stomach. Your stomach, the bundle of nerves there, sent a message up your spine to your brain where you perceived the message as hunger. And what you became hungry for and are craving, that in itself is a message as well. So let's just say you all of a sudden crave chocolate. Well, chocolate might be your body's and brain's best understanding of where it can get its source of magnesium. So your body might be saying, I need magnesium, but your brain is perceiving and receiving and perceiving it as chocolate.
Good afternoon, sir. Could we interest you in some chocolate?
Chocolate? Did you say chocolate?
Because that's the best way you can understand how to get those nutrients in particular. So it's sending messages and interpreting it for you and putting it in a way that you can understand. So therefore you can take action and therefore get the body what it needs. So what I'm getting at here is those thoughts didn't start in your brain. They started somewhere else. They were only received and perceived in your brain. And again, your brain can't think. It does have its own thoughts too, but so does the rest of your body. So if you're feeling depressed or inadequate or have low self-esteem or feel a lot of hate or anger or any of these things, these are all places in your body where there are imbalances. So if you're feeling imbalanced in life, you have too much energy in one center or another, or you feel like you always have these recurring problems. Well, all those problems are probably somewhere in your body where there's too much energy or not enough energy passing through there, which can very easily happen. Like, let's just say if you have bad posture, when you have bad posture, it starts to pinch on the nerves that are in the spine, and all the nerves connected to those nerves are immediately reduced to 30% efficiency. So it becomes really hard for energy to pass through there. So there's many parts of your body where there can be at 30, 20, or 10% efficiency, and there's no energy going through there anymore, and all the extra energy is therefore going to the next available place. So some places are hyperactive and some places are then underactive. So how do you fix this? Okay, how do we restore our chakras? Okay, well, what you can do a couple different things. You can do any sort of Chinese medicine, like acupuncture is great. What they're doing is they're putting these needles in you in certain places, and just as if you get a wound on your hand, energy immediately will flow there to heal it. So are they poking different areas for energy to flow there, and it's sometimes they're poking it so energy will go there and help that area of your body, or they're poking those areas to bring energy away from certain areas, like there's too much heat built up in one of your organs or something like that. So they're drawing energy out of there so that you can relax. So that is kind of what they're doing with acupuncture to help heal certain parts of your body and get everything aligned again. And then also you could go to a Reiki master or a Reiki healer such as myself. With Reiki, what we're basically doing is we are picking up on where your energy is imbalanced based on a couple different factors. So we can either take our hands and kind of hover them a little bit over you and feel what feels warm, what feels cold, and that will tell us enough. Some people who are practicing shamanism will use a feather, and the reason they use a feather is because the hollow feather can pick up energy so subtly. So if you hold the end of the feather, it will feel hot or cold very easily, very quickly. So it can pick up very easily and very sensitive energies when kind of putting it over certain parts of your body. So that's why certain people will use a feather to read your energy. So you can either do that, you can put your hands over it, but people who are trained in Reiki are trained to understand when it's too much or not enough and what's kind of wrong, and also by talking to you and hearing what are you predominantly talking about, how are you talking about yourself, what are you fixated on. And that will also tell us a lot about where there's imbalances if you're a well-trained Reiki practitioner. And then in terms of healing, what a Reiki master might do, a Reiki healer might do, is they basically will put their hands either above you or on you in certain areas. Just as when Masaru Emoto was talking to the jars of water and it was reflecting that energy in the contents, so are the Reiki healers essentially sending energy into certain parts of your body to change the molecular structure and help facilitate healing. It's essentially giving specific directions to certain parts of your body so that it can take action and heal those parts of your body. And that's kind of what a Reiki healer will do. And that's a very simplified version. To give an extreme example so you kind of understand, let's just say someone comes at your neck, okay, and you don't like them. Well, immediately they go to touch your neck or grab your neck. All of those nerves are going to tense up and you will hold on to that experience for a long time. It will be kind of imprinted there, and those nerves might not open up for a long time. It might become numb there. It might not work as well. You might have thyroid problems and all sorts of things. Well, on the other side of that, let's just say you fall in love with somebody, you're super attracted to them, and they all of a sudden go to touch your neck. Well, instead of having the reaction of everything tensing up, maybe then everything lights up and opens up because you have these feelings towards them. And that's the opposite reaction to the same action. Okay, same action, different reactions based on different intentions and different feelings about the situation. So a Reiki master basically is there to facilitate, good energy. And so when they touch certain areas or hover their hands over certain areas, it will essentially open up those nerve centers and nerve bundles to let energy flow more freely. And that's kind of a little bit more of a scientific way of understanding how Reiki works. If you personally want to kind of help your chakras, it might be helpful to get an outside opinion if you're unsure. But usually a good ways to tell is if you always wear the same color every day, then that chakra is probably overstimulated. And the reason being is because every color has a different wavelength. So we all know those examples from physical science class where they show infrared light and it's a long red wave, or ultraviolet light and it's a quick wave. Those are like the different color frequencies. When we see a color, it means that there's a certain vibration that's coming off of it, and different parts of our body are sensitive to different kinds of vibration. Similar to like somebody drives by in a car and their bass is really high, well, you'll feel that shake your body. Where if all of a sudden you hear a super high pitch, then all of a sudden that might hurt your brain. These different frequencies are causing effects in different parts of your body. And so the different colors will also have certain effects on different parts of your body. So if you like sleep in a room that's all blue and only wear blue and everything's blue, well then you're probably gonna have a lot of energy right here and no energy anywhere else. So if you find yourself consistently around these different colors, it's not a bad thing, but now you might have a little extra energy there, and it could behoove you to maybe eat fruits of a different color, wear some different colors, take a color bath where you do a bath bomb in a tub and those are different colors. Just to get a good variety. They say eat the rainbow, and that's a good healthy diet. Well, that also holds true with your chakras. So those are really good simple ways to perform Reiki or something on yourself. Is you need to be trained to do that. You need to actually go through and have an attunement before you really start practicing Reiki, because there's very specific reasons to that I'm not going to go into today. But if you want to kind of practice another form of energetic healing, something that was taught to me, you can imagine yourself engulfed in violet, like the color, not violent, but violet like the color, violet fire, a violet flame is what it's called, the violet flame. And doing that will help cleanse your energy. And if you have a specific chakra you want to focus on, you can also turn the fire into that kind of color and nourish that chakra. It always surprises me. I understand it because I've been through the training and I understand how it works, but still the level in which it can help is pretty impressive. There's even videos on the internet of people performing Reiki and energy healing, and you can watch like tumors disappear before your eyes. It's really incredible. Maybe I'll put a little video here for you to see.
So in the video documentation, the film shows a woman lying on in a hospital room. She's fully awake, she's fully conscious, she believes in the process that's about to happen. Before her, there is an ultrasound technician who is running an ultrasound wand over her lower abdomen that we can see on a split screen television. And on the left-hand side of the screen, they do a snapshot, a freeze frame of an instant in time for reference, so we can see what her condition looked like in that instant in time. On the right-hand side of the screen, we are able to watch real time as 3 practitioners stand behind her, working with the energy in her body and with the feelings in their bodies. And what they do is they begin to chant a word that to them they've agreed upon, that reinforces the feeling within them that she's already healed. The chant essentially says already healed, already done. And as they begin to have this feeling and to say these words among themselves, on the computer screen, on the television screen, we can watch in real time this cancerous tumor as it disappears in less than 3 minutes real time. It's not like time-lapse on a documentary where you see a rose unfold in 30 seconds in something that normally takes days. This literally happens in less than 3 minutes. Her body responded to the feelings of the practitioners who were trained to have the kinds of feelings that they were having.
It's pretty amazing, like the healing capabilities of it when you look into it. But anyways guys, so this was a very basic overview of chakras, how it affects your life, and some basic steps you can take to start getting some healing in those different areas and recognizing where you might have imbalances. So if you notice you might, be too much of a pleasure seeker, a workaholic, or you are creatively blocked, low self-esteem, feel powerless, you feel dumb. All of these different things have roots in underactive or overactive energy in these centers of your body. So if you have any questions about Reiki, personally, you can always email me, or if you have any questions you want to learn more about chakras, feel free to leave comments down below. Maybe I'll make another video about this and go even deeper in depth about the many different chakras. Like I said, there's not just those 7, there's a 13 system, there's 114 main or other ones, and you can only do something about 108 of those centers, but it is what it is. But if you want to learn more, please leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like this video, and until next time, my name is Nathaniel Gerdes, and I look forward to your success. Thank you.